Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Well, the last few days and weeks have been kind of crazy when you stand back and you look at all the stuff that's going on. I mean, it's just seems to be one thing after another that's going on. And I'm not just speaking of the whole Trump conviction. It's really all of it. It's not just that. I know that's been in a lot of people's focus for the last few days, but there's a lot going on. And I'm here to tell you that it's happening for a purpose. It's being done for a purpose. This isn't just, random things that just happen because we're just in that time period. This is all being done for a purpose. It's following a plan. We are in the midst, I believe, of a color revolution. For those of you that don't know what that term means, you should go look it up. But to put it plain and simple, a color revolution is what took place in the Eastern European countries that were formerly Soviet nations. It was done by the United States, CIA, some NGOs. They went in there and caused various disruptions to elections, disruptions to society, which eventually led to the overthrow of those nations. And that's why we have Ukraine the way it is today. And that's what's happening here. I've got a friend, of course he'll remain nameless, and where he worked will remain nameless, but it was for the government. And he was involved, or at least at the place and time, during what went on in Libya and our involvement in Libya. And he's told me many times that when he sits back and he watches what's going on in the United States today, it looks so similar in tactics, maybe not details, but in tactics of what happened over in Libya that our government was involved in. We have to wake up and realize this, folks. We have to realize that what's happening around the world and in our nation is all being done for a purpose. There is a plan being followed out. And it's getting worse. It's just progressing. China has announced in the last few days that they will absolutely retake Taiwan and prevent any form of independence there. And they've threatened any nation, including the United States, that gets involved, that they will absolutely use force to prevent that independence. Russia, Ukraine, NATO, it's all getting crazy over there. The countries that sent NATO or sent Ukraine weapons to be used defensively, they have now said, yeah, Ukraine can use them to attack inside of Russia, and they have been doing so. So it's only a matter of time until that starts to get out of control. It's Pride Month, and so there's all kinds of stuff going on around the country shoving that agenda down everyone's throat. At the same time, we've still got protests all over, pro-Palestinian protests and other things. There's just, when you step back and you look at it, folks, it's overwhelming. And I think we get too desensitized to it. We become too accustomed to it. It's been going on so long now. It's just another day in paradise, right? No, this is all being done for a purpose. And we are experiencing a color revolution. Now, I know the initial response from many of you is, well, we need to push back. We need to arm up. We need to fight this thing. And I'm not here to tell you not to do that. But I am quite confident when I say that that's exactly what they want us to do. They want us to fight back. It's part of their plan. Look at what's happened over the last 3 or 4 years between January 6th, Donald Trump, and many other people that have tried to stand up. They have squashed them. They have proven that they will absolutely use the authority of the United States government, the police powers, to stomp out any dissidents. And so it puts us in a kind of between a rock and a hard place. Do we do nothing and let it just stampede over the top of us? Or do we stand and fight? And we risk losing everything. because that's exactly what's going to happen. Well, I can't answer that. I wish I could. I wish I had a true plan. The problem is that there's not enough organization, at least not yet. But I can tell you this. We have to prepare for this. A lot of it's going back to the basics. A lot of it's just realizing what's going to happen, how bad it's going to be, and preparing ourselves for it. We could potentially see violence all over this country. Hopefully it'll only be in the bigger cities, but it could certainly reach all over the place. Did you know that using the most conservative numbers, that there's been about 6 times as many military-aged males enter this country illegally as there are in our military? 6 times. 6 entire U.S. militaries have entered our country illegally. So to say that it's only going to happen in Chicago and LA and St. Louis and New York, places like that, I think it's naive. I think it could happen elsewhere. And so we have to prepare for that. Even if it doesn't happen right where you live, the ripple effect, you will feel that. You'll feel the ripple effect in the supply chain, in the utilities, everything else that could possibly be a target for all of this chaos. So we have to prepare for that. We have to get back to food storage, supplies, growing food, water, medicine, ammo, all of these kinds of things. Working on our defenses plan for our home, working with people around us so that when these things fall apart, we will have some type of partnership with people, a team, not just individuals going at it and surviving. We have to think about these kind of things because it's getting crazy. And like I said, I really think that they're wanting people to react. They want that. And I'm not so sure that is the best thing. Maybe it's the worst thing. I don't know. I'm just a regular guy like you guys and gals. We have to prepare for this because it's moving pretty fast at this point. Things are happening at a pretty rapid pace. And the possibilities that between now and November that something big could happen or that something would just cause things to spiral out of control or at least have that appearance, I think it's very likely. I don't want to sound like the doomsdayer or the fear guy or anything. I'm just trying to wake a few people up. And for those of you that are awake, push you, compel you, encourage you to do more, to get out there, to get up off the couch, whether it's stuff, whether it's training, whether it's relationship, whatever it is. We need to have a plan because the thing is, folks like you and I, we're in the crosshairs of everybody. You know, obviously the far left Marxist liberals, they don't want us. But really, the standard conservative Republicans don't either. And so, whatever happens, I assure you that you and I will be left holding the short end of the stick. So, we need to start preparing for those things. You know, banking collapses, dollar collapses. India just recently repatriated about 100 tons of their gold, and they've been buying it up like crazy. So is China and Russia. How much longer will our currency have much value? Who knows? There's a big global war coming. Is it going to look like World War II? Maybe not. It may be psychological, it may be financial, it may be social. It may not be battleships and bombs, but there's definitely a big stage being built for a global conflict. And you and I need to get ready for that. This color revolution that I speak of sounds pretty just because of the name. Yeah, it's a color revolution. Oh, it's the Rainbow Coalition. You know, whatever it is. No, it happens without us even knowing it, for the most part. We think that it's just university students standing up for whatever they think is right, whether it's right or not. We think it's just all these other groups, kind of maybe left-leaning, maybe right-leaning, standing up and being proactive. When in the end, we don't realize that there are people behind it, pushing it, funding it, causing it to happen, because they have set and they've laid out a whole plan that if we do this, this, and this, A, B, C, and D, then the chances of us ending up at a particular point in time where we can do a takeover, not we, they, where they can do a takeover, is more and more likely. They know what they're doing. They're not dumb. We have to be the same way. We need to know what we're doing, and we need to get active. Folks, it's time to get your houses in order and to prepare yourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next video.